Hey everybody, clearing. Now this is a chunk of pyrite that I mined at some point. Oh yeah, so there are still spots for the May mining in Nevada. If you want to message in the comments below here, I will link my email so you can follow up more on that. I also just opened up more sessions, so those links are in the description box below if you want to get a session with me. Don't forget to like and comment and share this video, subscribe. That really helps me connect with your energy specifically. So let's have a look at where are the divine masculines at emotionally, mentally, and physically on some major levels here, with their spirituality, with their intuition, with their communication in the heart space, with their own personal empowerment, with their sensual energies, and with their survival grounding kind of themes. Okay, let's have a look. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the divine masculines connected with my viewers and divine masculines that join me here? What are the thoughts, feelings, and physical realm circumstances that these masculines are experiencing? What are they aware of regarding those things, and how does that relate to their counterpart? What information can we see for how what the masculines are going through relates to their counterpart? Okay, so connection to source, spirituality, emotionally, this is true. So the Ace of Swords is a card of truth. They are now understanding how their emotions are divinely guided as a navigation. I'm hearing emotional balance, emotional mastery. So they've come a long way with understanding they're not numb, emotionally unavailable. They're actually just very balanced. Ooh, mentally, how are they looking at this? Five of Pentacles, Lord of Material Trouble in the inverse. So on the higher realm, it's like they're asking for divine guidance. Crown chakra here. So they're asking for divine guidance in how to overcome financial adversity, material realm circumstances. So however the karma has been involved in their lives, they are seeking higher guidance in how to extricate themselves from their situations, and their emotional truth is coming in online very clear to help them with this. Suffering versus freedom. This is a fail-safe built into us, that when we have peace about something, it's in balance. When we're suffering over something, we haven't seen the light. When we're liberated, energized, it's go time. So these masculines run their ship that way. They go with the flow that way. And more so all the time. What is their physical realm? Yeah, the sun. So these masculines are very in tune on the crown chakra, helping them navigate the physical world. On the conscious mind, this card of material trouble in the inverse means that they are going to source for all their issues, all of their concerns, and they're getting some really brilliant, conscious, enlightened answers, information, and it's sitting well with their soul because we have the Ace of Swords in the emotional spot. It's like the things that they are receiving as downloads is just ringing so true. How does this relate to their feminine? They're going to source rather than relying on what they think their feminine needs, wants, is up to. So just like the feminines sometimes get off track with their own connection to source by putting too much focus on the masculines are really buckling down and doing what they're guided to do, and not because they feel like it's going to bring them closer to the feminines, or not because they're superstitious and they don't want to like jinx anything. There's a lot of ways we can navigate this, but when we align with higher guidance. Like I see here in the crown chakra, we don't need to know what our counterpart is thinking and feeling at that human moment. We just need to keep staying the course with higher guidance and trusting that it's all going to come together. Okay, so what are they intuitively speaking? What is their emotions regarding intuition? The Three of Pentacles, interesting. So that's my card of the 3D, the material realm. So their emotions are very much bringing clarity to the way they see the world, the things that they are investing in, engaging in. The Three of Pentacles can be a card of investment. And if we're doing this emotional investment with our intuition, this means they're only allowing contribution or contributing in ways that feel emotionally warranted. So this is very precise decision making, intuitively guided, but practical. It feels as though they have a firm foundation that whatever they contribute to has to feel right to them. I just heard I've been trying to do that all along. What can we see on the conscious mind? Knight of Cups, Lord of Waves and Waters. So this is the emotional offer that they want to bring. A masculine of character, of substance, I just heard. So this is action speaking louder than words. So if your person, viewer, in the past has had trouble staying righteous or faithful or on the straight and narrow, this is a new track record that's being established in the name of love and long-term gain, not short-term payout. What is the material realm? Yeah, they know that happiness is their responsibility. If they contribute or allow inauthentic interaction with people, places, things, they undermine their own happiness. And so they are really taking care of understanding that when their intuition says no, it's a no. When their intuition legitimately feels 100% yes, that's when things are appropriate. How does this relate to my feminines? Wheel of Fortune in the inverse. So this is, unbeknownst to both counterparts here, this exact way of intuitively navigating the things that add value and only doing things that are authentically adding value on a sensitive emotional level, that is bringing these connections together more so than any kind of a direct strategy. When we align with self, with higher power, not just self, not rebellion, not all that stuff, not ego. When we go higher to what really matters, when we cultivate a discipline to feel in and honor our intuition and the way that we feel about things truly, that's when we get on the right path. And so, it's bringing these connections closer. What can we see for communication emotionally? Wow, King of Cups. So King of Cups can be very, very reserved and not overly wordy, very masterful. It can have a shadow side. It can be too stoic. It can be reclusive. It can be arrogant. It can be the moral highway, my way or the highway. In this energy, I'm feeling that the masculines are realizing they are more emotional than they thought they were, that they'd had to numb out or become reclusive, I just heard. It could have seemed exclusive, but it was a necessary developmental stage where they needed to withdraw and observe more emotionally, to kind of survey the land, love at a distance, assess all of the energies in their reality through ethical, moral compass. And so it wasn't just you that they've pulled back from. If they've pulled back, they're becoming more discerning with who they give their time and energy to, who they communicate with. there's something going on for these masculines where many of the people they used to engage with small talk, they no longer entertain that. Take that how it resonates. What can we see on the conscious mind? 3 of Pentacles again, Lord of material work. So they really want to only invest in things and do the things. I heard bare minimum, but I'm also hearing the word mutual. So the split second they understand that something has passed its expiration date, or that something isn't mutual between them and any other energy, they're going to pull the plug. It's not worth the headache. They don't feel they need to carry other people's growth or karma, because I'm feeling, because they see you in mastery, feminines, and they see what's possible for themselves, that it's a work in progress, but it's helping eliminate the need to be everyone's friend or entertain things that aren't adding value to their life. They're cutting those things out by just doing the essential. How is this being experienced in their life? Yeah, lots of options. These masculines are incredibly charismatic. They are very vibrant. They're very light filled, and a lot of people want a piece of that. So that can be romantic partners, it can be business, it can be family. They're staying the course with this big old cup of love in the middle here. And that means they're only wanting unconditional love. And so if something isn't mutually meeting them in a high frequency, they can take or leave it now. And it's not about being superior. This is really in the name of their higher peace. Oh, and I heard eventually these unions as well. So they're already beginning to protect these unions by removing insincere interactions in their own lives. It is a purification. So that doesn't mean that they are completely rejecting people in their life. It can be that they're just redirecting to a more genuine way of communicating with the people that are coming forward. And how does it relate to the feminines? The Chariot in the inverse. So this is preparation for moving this relationship forward. So whatever it may look like right now, your masculines are learning how to communicate with people so that it's not misleading sexually, I just heard, or romantically. They're now more able to understand frequencies about whether something is appropriate and warranted, justified. They're becoming much more clean as a filter for picking up on intentions within themselves and within others, so that they are, I just heard, nipping anything that's not genuine in the bud. And this is very much helping erase sexual tension, so that when they come into union with you, feminines, there won't be loose ends or frazzled energy or mixed signals to other people, specifically sexually or intimately or romantically. These masculines are coming into mastery with their own energy and how they perceive and are perceived. This is all in the interpersonal layer on the throat chakra level here. And so, yeah, they're very much mastering the ability to discern the energy. Sorry, I'm still a little stuffy. Yeah, really beautiful. So right now they're probably in their own zone, paying attention to how they are affected or how they perceive others and how their energy affects and comes across to others. Some of them may be traveling right now. I know when I go through a growth spurt, it's fascinating to get out in the world and meet people that I've never met before and just see the difference in how I interact. What can we see on the heart space emotionally? The Star. Okay, they've never been so sure that this is like a wishing star, that they want this relationship, but they also are, they're seeing something that's making them hopeful, but they also feel at a distance. They also feel like there's something coming in this connection that hasn't happened yet. So emotionally, there's a little bit of longing I can feel in this, a little melancholy that it's not here yet, but it's like bittersweet because they have to go through this purification in order to align. What is on the conscious mind? Knight of Pentacles, yeah, it's doing the inner work. They know they have to do this purification, this inner work on the heart space. Their heart is correcting them. So they are purifying. So only they know their motives, their intentions, where they're cutting corners, where they're purists, where they're realists, where they're grounded, where they're giving away their energy, where they're accepting, where they're being nice instead of telling people firm boundaries. They're really looking at how they can measure truth on their own heart like that, and it's clearing their conscience. What can we see on the material realm? Yeah, because on a material sense, they know that I'm really getting they're sad about being at a distance emotionally, mentally, or physically from you right now. And they're taking the approach that they see with accountability, how the things in their life, their choices, their mindset, their capacity, previous capacity, how it fell short. And so this is the distance. They know they've got a little bit of redemption work to do here before they can justifiably show you that they have changed, that they want this connection. They have wanted it all along, but that has been a journey, because at times they deluded themselves and pushed this away. At times they didn't feel worthy and they were in suffering because they felt like they were so lowly for how they've navigated that guilt and shame stuff. But now there's just a sincerity I can feel here with, they know that they need to clean up their act so that they can bridge. How does this affect the connection with the feminine? Yeah, the abandonment wounds. They're going to have to really take a deep look at the domino effect that the original separation wound, any abandonment issues in childhood, anything that's played out in their lifetime, and with these connections, it's all based on weak energy, weak behavior. It was either modeled to us or done to us, or we've done these things to others. You know, when we're erasing guilt and shame, it's really powerful as an exercise to write out all of the things that resonate as guilt and shame that have been done to us, that we have seen, that we have done to others, as like a confessional. I believe firmly to write it on paper and burn it. But it feels like this is being cleared. Guilt and shame is being cleared on the heart space. So, you know, I don't want to use the word vow, but there's this commitment to purification, righteousness on the heart space I'm feeling here. I'll do what it takes, what I'm guided to do, even if it takes a little bit, and even if I have to be accountable. Accountability means seeing things for what they actually are and taking responsibility for, you know, even if we have good intentions, or the road to hell is paved by good intentions. We have to do, speak from that righteousness in order for it to be actualized in our lives. And so theory isn't good enough. But these masculines don't just want to think they are a match for you. They want to be that match for you, feminines, on their heart of hearts here. I'm going to get one emotional card here. What can we see? What is the sentiment, the emotion of the masculines in their heart space here? Indecision in the inverse. So I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Pardon me. So even if they knew what was right in the past, they weren't able to make the choice because of guilty conscience. And so they're clearing that so they can be more decisive and not feel imposter syndrome into these connections. What can we see for the empowerment, the high priestess. So emotionally, they're taking example from you, your balance, your mercy, your humility, your compassion, and this is empowering them to do the same, because they see that that is like a laser that burns away obstacles. The knowing, be still and know. When we can listen to that guidance and do what is required to stay the course and be unshakable through faith, through knowing, through belief, through love, we can accomplish anything. And these masculines are setting their emotional fortitude by your clock, feminines. What is on their conscious mind? Knight of Wands. Interesting. So empowerment, this is my player energy. This is the non-monogamous energy. This is the temptation energy. This is the fickle, the instant gratification, the lust-based. It's in the inverse. And so they are cleaning up their act. They're no longer doing, if they were tempted to fall on crutches or one-night stands or soothing through intimacy with surface level connections, they're dropping in deeper here and they're understanding true empowerment. I just heard saving their seed. So they might be doing retention, meditation, lots of different things to go into this very spiritual, I'm hearing abstinence. So they're going into some empowerment through abstinence right now. What are they experiencing? Yeah, this truth. They're standing on business. They're in their higher mind. So they're able to see the truth in things. They've put their cross down. It's in the inverse here. So they no longer have to carry their cross. It's becoming second nature to just be in this righteousness. This is something these masculines have had to tame the beast, so to speak, with lust and with wandering eye and with the sexual stimulation. They are beginning to understand that masculines don't have to be governed by those energies, and they can drop in and deepen. That this spiritual wisdom they're learning, this truth, is actually supporting them to not be attracted to the same things that they used to be. 2222, and there's something revving up the engine. So I'm getting this is also preparing them for this incredible cosmic, on fire, passionate connection with their feminine, with their high priestess. They are not seeing any other more wise, intuitive, compassionate, merciful, humble, feminine on the face of the planet for them. And your purity is the truth of what they actually have always wanted. How does this relate? Revving, more revving. Oh yeah, how does this relate? Again, confirmation, Queen of Wands. So, the Knight of Wands, this can also speak of, a knight and a queen, an age difference where the feminine is older. This can be that these masculines are maturing and moving into King of Wands to match, regardless of age. This can be a developmental thing, an energetic development, a spirituality. These masculines are old souls regardless of age. So this is a deepening homing device. The divine feminine setting the boundaries and staying in truth and righteousness acts as a destination point, a marker for the masculines to set course for. And this is empowering them, not just in love, but in their lives. Because they're containing their energy and they're not giving away their energy to undeserving places. They're knowing their worth. What can we see on the sensual chakra? Six of Wands, victory. So publicly, their reputation now is such that they don't do low vibe, snaky, shady things anymore. This is victory. So people that the masculines used to engage in now know that they are not going there again. Friend groups, community in some way. This is a public acknowledgement. So these masculines have sufficiently removed themselves from some lower vibrational actions or connections that community used to say, oh yeah, so and so, da 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 da. Now they are setting themselves apart and their standards have risen, and it's evident to whoever this group of people, it could be family, it could be friends, they're in a new league, I just heard. So emotionally, these masculines know this of themselves. They used to be afraid. There's a wasp on this card and ants. And the message I got from that is they used to be afraid of looking like the bad guy, or, a lot of different energies were following them. There's many ants here following this masculine. But they're a wasp, not an ant. So even though these ants are like, ooh, that's the biggest, beautiful, most beautiful ant I've ever seen in my whole life, they were ants, not wasps, let's say. And so these masculines are realizing they're in a different category than a lot of these individuals that were not at their level, that they were trying to get approval. They were also afraid to leave the herd, the consensus as well, because they didn't want to hurt these individuals. And what I'm getting here is that it was ego, and the masculines realize it's actually doing all of these individuals a favor, because where they once thought that this would bruise their ego or hurt them, and they wanted to protect these people from that, they now understand that it will eventually inspire them to rise, if they're going to find somebody that is of a higher caliber than whatever was going on in the anthill. So that's a very specific message that can be sexually, that can also be pressure from society. It can be a lot of things, but I am specifically getting that these masculines have had many potential feminine energies vying for their attention, and they're starting to see that they were never a match for those individuals, and that it was never their responsibility to lead them on in some way that was preventing these feminines from being hurt. It's almost like if they chose one of them, everyone would have been hurt. So they didn't choose anyone, but they still kept them around. That can be polydynamics. So for some, this is a message of leaving the non-monogamy templates. And this is their emotional awareness on the sacral here. What is going on in the conscious mind? Seven of Pentacles, Lord of Success unfulfilled. So they didn't find fulfillment in any of those potential avenues. And so they are really getting real with themselves about that, with their sexual options. I can't read this in any other way. They are realizing they don't need a wandering eye, or they don't need options. Even if they didn't have options or weren't aware of them, this is figurative. So before going all in, they would naturally wonder if they were making the right choice and if they could sustain connection with one person for the rest of their lives. They're beginning to see that nobody compares to their high priestess. Why would they want anybody else? They have seen every layer of connection, and they don't see that with other examples in their worlds to the same degree. What is going on in the physical world in the sacral chakra here? Okay, they're beginning to heal the heartache of all the third-party energies. Three of Swords for me is the poly quagmire. So, whenever there's a love triangle, somebody's the odd one out. They are in, sometimes there can be an attempt to say that we're more evolved or open if we can handle, without jealousy or competition, multiple partners. A lot of times we're swayed into thinking that that would be more advanced, to not have preference or to not elevate one over the other, to be equal. But that's not the way it works. And so these masculines understand that whenever there's complex dynamics like that, it adds more pain than it's worth. So there's a great deal of maturing here where they no longer want to perpetuate. They want the healing to begin. They've learned a few things. How does this relate to their feminine? Wow, the Six of Wands, victory. So they have victory with regard to the confusion between, because this is the sacral. The sacral chakra is our sexual spiritual chakra. And when we are coming into mastery on that level, we can now differentiate and discern between things that are sexual that are actually spiritual and things that are spiritual that are actually sexual. And we can master that knowing, which includes our value, whether we are valuable only as an object in an animal sense for sex, or whether we are hyper spiritualized and we're only in that chaste sort of spiritual energy. So these masculines now have explored the gamut of sexual spiritual connection, and they're understanding that they are more valuable for their spiritual energy, but they're not meant to withhold the sexual fire with true, authentic interaction with their aligned connection. And so they've had to understand the whole spectrum. And so as they set the standards and are more discerning and impeccable, even victorious, they also get to come forward with this invitation to their divine feminine. They've made their choice here. This, and now they have the gumption to back it up. Like they're able now to fulfill monogamy because they legitimately do not see value in the other options. What can we see for the root chakra? Emotions, the Chariot. So something about the generational rite of passage. The Chariot's in the inverse, so things haven't moved forward emotionally fully yet. And this means they're still going through becoming sovereign from their family line. So if that is emotionally, that means that they are calling their empowerment back from the things that they did not get from their own parents. This is the emotional support that possibly their own parents were not able to give them. This is forgiveness and a game changer here, because on the root chakra, emotionally, they know they want to be free from the reversed order of love. So if they've been parentified, if they have had to overcompensate for the perceived or real shortcomings of the parents, they haven't been free to move forward into holy matrimony because there's still been this reverse order of love where they haven't been free to fully focus forward because they've been still playing catch up upstream. So on the conscious mind, 10 of Cups, Lord of perfected success. So they now know fully that whatever they're dealing with generationally, that is what has been actually holding them back. And in order to go to what they actually want, they have to lean into whatever this generational rite of passage is that has been holding them back. What's going on in their physical? Yeah, they're starting to really see love come into focus. They know that they have to have love for their family or for their family's human condition, or they have to get to a place in their heart where they are no longer in victim mentality about anything that's happened. And they also need to see their own parents as not being lost cause, hopeless. They're going to have to see the humanity and the divinity in their own parents. But this love is coming to the forefront. How does it relate to the feminines? The devil. I mean, carnal is the first word that I heard here, but this is the gates of matter. So in order to have true love, they can no longer have generational curses or dysfunctions or harbor those unhealed things. So this is a firm door closed on these unions until they master whatever the traumas or hindrances have been as it relates to family, shame, guilt. This is the doorway. So the devil doesn't have power over love, but the gates remain closed until we have love. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Many blessings. Bye for now.